Hello, everyone, and welcome to Z2R. Got another Zelda 2 Randomizers 2022 Max Rando Tournament match here. So it's round 2 between Paratroopa and Mooney. With me on commentary is Zelda. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Just running for the cops real quick.
Yeah, apologies, Chad. I live next door to a fire station. Apparently, there is a fire going on at 10:15 at night. Don't ask.
Yeah, well, the fire is maybe by you, but it's also going to be here in this match because we should have a good one. We got an 0-1 match here in the second round between Paratroopa and Mooney. Mooney, a newer player, but has been getting pretty decent pretty quickly. And then Para at least has been around for the previous tournament. She did pretty well in the invitational tournament last time, and so it should be a pretty good match.
Yep. Just waiting on them both to ready up. Had some issues that delayed the race, but we're going here shortly. Moon Money is funny as a misread. Yes, Mooney also our only francophone runner that I know of. Neither Z2 or Z2R, I'm not so sure, and Vanilla, so always nice to see some more representation. He is Quebecois. I mean, saying that, why is there a fire going on at 10:15 at night? I have no idea. People are people.
It was just a little dark, so they decided they wanted to get some light.
Alright, and we're off. 2 heart containers start, jump, 3 gems, 3 lives, flute, cross, hammer, and that's an interesting place to start. That looks like a caldera or okay, caldera. Figures.
Yeah, definitely. At least starting with the hammer going to be mostly useful, although there is always the danger of caldera leading immediately to a boot block. But it looks like with only 2 hearts in life 1, yeah, Moody having a reaction to the little one-hit KO from the Dairas.
Yeah.
Makes the sensible decision to check out some other places, get some more experience first.
Yeah, Hera took a death at this exact same time in the overworld. Alright, Raftel in the southeast.
Yeah, not technically one-hit KO, but those Daira axes at life 1, ensuring we get additional simultaneous deaths.
Yep. We're gonna get plenty of deaths today. 2 heart containers is a recipe for a lot of deaths. Every time guaranteed as Unique takes the game over.
Yep, well, there's the raft, so...
Okay, well, that's not an issue.
But yeah, I hope with the starting heart containers and max heart containers both being randomized, hopefully there will be several in the pool for our runners and help them get out of the initial danger.
Fairy in Rando is not something you really want to see.
Yeah, that's a little rough. Hopefully, spell hints have rolled on. Townsfolk being traditionally helpful, insisting how little they know. But if we have spell hints here, okay, go west to find the trophy. Much more reasonable. If you have to go on a big scavenger hunt to find trophy to even put palaces in logic, it can turn a 3-gemmer into an hour-plus seed very easily.
Oh yeah, mind you, the 2 heart containers could turn this into an hour-long seed if things go badly.
Yep.
Got Jump Cave here.
Yeah, not entirely sure where this Jump Cave is going to go with a caldera. I think usually the caldera is the only pass through.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's P3 or 6 there. Also not 100% sure it's a something about this map looks funky for a caldera.
Yeah, it definitely looked like a caldera, but with neither runners making it through, there's Death Mountain, and Para immediately decides, nope.
Yeah, okay, no, this is a caldera, because that is a dead end up here. I wasn't sure if there's more land up here, but that confirms it's a caldera map with that layout.
Yeah. And Para making a stab at P-Bag Cave here, but the enemy is not playing nice. It's always
Not
one of
at
those
all.
questions when you're low on life, you want to looks like you want to avoid fighting enemies to some extent. You're like, well, I just want to get the item, get some progress, but at the same time, you got to fight something to get some level ups.
Oh yeah.
Mooney fights a red iron knuckle. Unfortunately, only 50 points. It's a pretty low roll.
Ooh, that just sucks. It's gonna take a dip into this palace.
Yeah, not the worst. Just stick your nose in. If you're looking for a source of XP, having trouble with the overworld, maybe the dungeon enemies will be a bit kinder.
Well, these things are dropping 20 apiece. For what they are, that's actually not too bad. Fairly quick to kill, plenty of them. You can get a level or two off that.
Yeah, at the very least, get up to life 3 or something, and that'll help.
Yeah, this
buffer
is
some of those
3
hits.
For those windows.
Going with Magic 2. Little interesting choice without having much to cast, but not too much of a difference anyway.
Yeah. Hey Tanner, and welcome we're back to the good old beepity beep deaths galore seed variety.
Oh boy, do I love beeping.
At least it's 2 hearts and not 1, so we're not constantly on beep mode. That drives me up the wall at some point.
Every max radar runner is gonna do one container seed before they're like, nope, turn it off the beep.
Turning. I think, oh hey, there's a heart container for Para. That's a good find.
Yeah, definitely.
Took a few tries to get through there, but it did.
Yeah, the fewer containers you have, the more incrementally valuable any one of them is. You go from 7 to 8, you're like, yeah, whatever. You go from 2 to 3, it's like, yes, 50% more health.
It's an actually noticeable and appreciable increase. Oh man, the northeast of the Hurricane being the northwest corner of the eastern half. It is a 3-gemmer. Yeah, there is a mercy rule available, though I think this isn't looking miserable enough to be worth it. Mooney going for attack 2 here.
Red Stalfos yielding 100 points, and we'll see what this P-Bag is. Ooh, 300.
Nice.
Yeah, so while this palace isn't in a logic, Mooney's picking up a pretty good amount of experience here that's at the least going to help him clear the overworld better when he decides to go back to it.
Yeah. This is taking quite a few hits, jeez.
Yeah, attack 2 not much better than attack 1, unfortunately.
No, and just 50 points for his shovel too. That's a key block, yep. Beep for Farah! But yeah, as far as the beeping sound goes, I don't play 1 heart container seeds or much max rando myself. I don't do low health seeds at all. Personally, I just suck at the game. So I just tend to just leave the beeping on when in my randomizer, and so whenever I boot up a seed to see what our sighting items are for restream, and I hear the beep, I know, oh dear, we're in for fun. Even this block room is not great for Mooney on no health. We're in the east.
We're in what appears to be vanilla east. Not even vanilla shuffle.
I think that looks like straight vanilla at a first glance, yes. Oh boy.
This is the right tile, at least at the start here, and the right positioning of the raft. Ooh, only 200 points on the P-Bag.
That feels bad. They do at least have both raft and hammer and flute as well. As they started with those 2 things, it's going to make a vanilla east much nicer. It's still the east, but at least it's nicer on that.
Yeah, the River Devil, gonna get some workout. Rebanak rides with the P-Bag. Thanks.
Brilliant. Good to know.
Yeah, a little sad that Moody doesn't know that, because even if he manages to find both the key and the item room, he is not gonna be able to get very much of value.
No. This Crumble Bridge room, yowp.
Yeah, can definitely be a difficult room to pass through without downstab or thunder or something to try and get past those enemies. And this is an open item room, no key required.
Yeah, it does not have those Doom Knockers, though. Guarding it is not fun, and I don't blame him for getting out of there.
Well, the good news is that death isn't going to cost him much, because we know it's just a pee bag.
There's his raft.
Hopefully Mooney will make his way north and pick up the extra container. Mm-hmm. But Para gonna go north, gonna go check out Darunia, and probably more importantly, the bridge to... At this point, I think the bridge has to go to Maze Island. We've already seen Raft. We've seen... Yeah, we've seen one of our caves, I guess. So the bridge could go to Death Mountain, yeah.
Yeah, Death Mountain, by the way, is a caldera. Oh, never mind. That is a really stupid looking bridge.
That is not quite the longest bridge I've ever seen sticking into a Maze Island, but it's close.
Bridges can be really dumb. They can be 2 tiles, they can be, however long that one is. 6?
The boots are a fine reward for Para, though, with a Caldera West and a Vanilla East, not quite as useful as you'd think, but at the very least gonna give her access to the water tile and the palace as soon as she heads out here.
I mean, it is a caldera. It is a Canyon East, a Canyon Death Mountain, Elendar, so in case I need to go there, that is going to help. Speaking of Death Mountain, I think Mooney is currently in it. I've lost track where he's actually at. And there's the cave as well, so that's going to be the connector cave to... So the connector cave and the bridge both lead there, and that is one really stupidly long bridge. That's like, what, 10 or 12 tiles or something stupid? I can't count.
Yeah, probably about 10 or 12 in that neighborhood. And here's the last cave, and it is just a dead end to Death Mountain.
Really?
Nice. Our second item, just a magic container, but potentially useful. We're still waiting on either of our runners to find very many spells that are going to be helpful here. Yeah,
we know where Fairy is trophy locked, and Trophy is presumably on the other side of the caldera at this point. Neither of which they have not bothered to go through yet. Okay, Mooney did get the heart container, and I wasn't sure if he had.
Yeah, this is a Vanilla East.
Yep, straight vanilla. I'm trying to remember what the water paths are, because they are not easy to tell. There we go.
Yeah, it's surprisingly complicated which tiles you can and can't walk on out here heading to different places.
He too, by the way.
Oh, but Para does know about this desert tile down here.
Mooney picking up the spell. Para not getting the water tile.
Let's see what we can get here. Extra life, not the worst.
Yeah, it could be worse.
But yeah, Para still hasn't picked up the water tile item.
I think she's trying to remember how to get there right now, because it is not intuitive in the slightest. Apparently the original developers just wanted you to wander around until you randomly found it.
Yeah, it's... Okay. There, she's
I
got
think
it.
this is it.
Yeah, there's only a 1 tile wide spot where you can head north to get to it. Ooh, but a heart container is going to be a valuable reward.
Very much so. Low heart seeds, the randomizer just tends to be ultra main and not give you any additional health. This one's actually gotten them some.
Yeah, Mooney has not gotten the boots, but decides to take the land route over by breaking down the rock, and he'll also pick up an extra life for his trouble.
Yep.
Para continuing to make her way south, sort of checking all of the standard spots, but takes a bonk in the dark for what's left of that extra life.
Yep, and okay, Mooney's heading north now. We'll soon. Oh no, gonna get. Where is he going instead?
I think he just wants to check out some of these trap tiles down in the forest, get some more experience.
Sense.
Apparently, that one's a fairy and vanilla. I know where a lot of these extra spots are for the sake of shuffled vanilla, but just I do not remember a lot of them, what they actually are in regular vanilla.
Alright, there's a magic chair for Para, or a second one actually.
Yeah, Mooney going back, trying to make his way through jump caves, see where this leads. But I think with this being a caldera, this can't actually lead anywhere. I guess...
sometimes the randomizer just bugs out on calderas and volcanoes and doesn't make it an actual pass-through.
Yeah. Not always clear what is and isn't intended as far as logic. Para, meanwhile, sticking her head into Death Mountain. With the boots and the hammer, it's a pretty reasonable play. You can sort of really quickly check, see if you can find Spectacle Rock, but pretty quickly decides, nope, not worth the time.
Yep.
Yeah, Mooney taking an unfortunate game over. It's, these caves are really putting our runners through their paces.
Oh, for sure.
Para having a little easier time with it with that extra heart container. But attack 2, life 3 still unpleasant in dark caves.
Yeah.
Especially without, the only spells being jump and spell, not exactly the most useful combat spells. Even if they had reflect right here, reflect is very useful trying to take down Dairas in dark areas.
Yeah, but I have neither of those things. I don't even think spell's castable right now.
No, it's not, unfortunately. I think someone in chat saw 83 is the current cost.
Yeah, and that's a death for Mooney. Caldera for Para, turning up GP. Good to know that's successful easily. And here's the pass through to the western half of the map. What about the Caldera exit? Oh, jeez, that's a hard bootlock exit.
Yep.
Text in case chat doesn't know. During the standard tournament last year, there was actually a seed that was literally confirmed 100% unbeatable because it was a Caldera West. The left side pass-through dumped you out on the water like this, but the boots were not available.
Yeah, at least this time the boots are in logic, and Para's going to be able to advance. Mooney, if he makes it through this cave, is going to get the sad news that he is not going to be able to advance any further until he goes back east and gets those boots.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Para gets the extremely overpowered down stab.
Ooh, game over for Mooney. And what spell is here in Mito? I did not catch it.
It is Reflect.
Oh wait, I wrote it down. Facepalm, anyhow.
Yeah, but yeah, the medicine also in the West. But we'll see. I don't think it's that likely that our runners are gonna, unless 4 is in a really easily accessible spot with only 3 gems needed, probably just avoid the Reflect spell. And
Yeah, actually, I think the Caldera might not be hard boot slide because mentioning Jump Cave, I think they spot the exit right about where Para is.
yeah, it could be.
Sometimes the map just decides to be funky. This seed did get seriously stuck on generating a western continent, and I'm wondering if that Caldera exit might have something to do with it.
Mooney having a bit of trouble with these double Doom Knockers, kind of annoyingly positioned.
They are pretty
without
rough, yeah.
without the glove too. If you fall down in that pit, I don't think jump is enough to get out of it.
I don't think it is.
But he's gonna see that it's just a pea bag anyway, so not critically important. And yeah,
no, that's not gonna make it.
This room is the subject of a little bit of controversy in the community. If you kill all of the enemies, you are in fact stuck down here without the glove or fairy spell. Yep. And that's the thing we generally try to avoid in rooms, but possible in a future version of the randomizer that gets adjusted. Probably just in the form of a fire or something that you can kill yourself on if needed. Ooh, only 100 points in that pea bag too.
I have no idea what Para got in that cave down there. Oh, glove. That's fun.
Yeah, glove, very nice pickup. You know, not technically required, but with 3 gems, and of course, whatever monstrosity GP turns into, probably required.
Yeah, there's a trophy.
I don't remember. Wasn't Trophy Fairy?
It is.
Yeah, so that's actually a big pickup that puts palaces into logic, and with the glove, most of the way to go mode.
And actually, that exit, I thought that cave might have been the exit to Jump Cave, but it is not. I'm wondering where the exit to Jump Cave is. It's over here somewhere, but
there's a distinct possibility that it just spits you out in the middle of the mountain, a dead end.
That is fair. The map does do that sometimes. It does some really dumb things. Thanks for the hint game. Brilliant.
Yeah, just all, you know, that hit 100% boots blocked.
Absolutely fantastic game. Brilliant. Gotta love the seeds sometimes. Hello, they're in sometimes because Z2R doesn't have any logic behind the hints that they can easily be stuck behind the item they're hinting.
Yeah, that was back in the old days when the way off of the west was always the raft tile took you to the east from the west. You'd get the hint that the raft was in the west. It's like, yes, I know, it's there every seed.
Brilliant. Thanks. Really needed it.
I at least ruled out the possibility that it was in one of the palaces on the west, but
there is that, I suppose. Oof.
Bounty Cat's giving Mooney a rough time. You can tell a lot of the various enemies in the dark by looking at their footprints, but the enemies frequently known as Bounty Cats, I don't remember their actual name, are just an absolute menace in the dark.
Yeah. Shield is, I don't know, might be pretty expensive, I can't tell.
I think it's definitely by Magic 3, it's basically has to be castable at this point, but chat commenting that apparently We have kitties.
Apparently, Subtype has kitty reactions as well as puppy reactions. Though I'm not sure to trigger the cat ones for Huff Time. But they are quite cute too. Sorry, tangent because of the name Bouncy Cat. Heart container and
downstabbing her way to another heart container. So it looks like with as few items as we've seen and as many of them being heart containers, it looks like we probably rolled fairly high on the maximum.
Yeah.
Which is good.
This western half looks kind of stupid as a note.
Yeah, it can be a little bit weird often when you have a volcano or a caldera, because it effectively is generating the west and east sides of the continent separate from each other. And so things tend to be cramped and small and weirdly shaped because it's trying to fit everything in a relatively limited space.
Yep. P1 here is an exceedingly bright shade of pink.
Oh dear.
Purple. This is pretty bright.
Yeah.
We've seen worse, but this is not great.
Interesting. I don't think Para's gone back and gotten the fairy spell since she picked up
she has not, no.
The trophy, so this is going to be potentially a pretty short trip.
Yeah, because Rando is right next to start.
Yeah, but at least picking up attack 3.
And dying.
Mooney, meanwhile, has made it through and found that he needs the boots.
Yeah, this feels bad to be in a Canyon Death Mountain when we know where the boots are, because they're not here, and Canyon and Islands anything, regular Canyon and Islands anything except without boots.
Yep, when you going to take another stab here at Fairy Cave, trying to get through the caldera. Almost had a pretty decent corner trap on that red Dyra, but lost it real quick. And once again, those red Dyras at life 3 and 3 bars looks like it's 3 hits to kill, but still pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Para has gone and picked up fairy spells, so we have townsfolk being traditionally unhelpful. I think we've seen 3 of the 4 hints so far, and none of them have been particularly great.
No, unfortunately. I think one of them was a P-bag at 3, the lovely hint for the boots that we absolutely needed to find. Yeah.
And
actually, your point about jump cave exiting to the middle of a mountain I think is correct on Mooney's side, because you see a little bit of something on the edge of the screen there just now.
Yeah.
Camera locked and probably dead-ended, because the game likes to do that.
Yeah, Para, I think I like this decision to head out to across the caldera again. You know you need to clear 3 palaces, and so you're not going to be able to do that just on the east. And even if you could, that would be a bit of a rough trip with how long Vanilla East can be. So head over here, do Palace 1. I don't remember, was there a second palace up here on this west side?
There's...
I know we saw 2 on the east end of the west, but...
It's only just the one. So... P3 is the P3 is on the western half. P3 is on the eastern half. P1's on the western half, and then GP's in the caldera.
Yeah,
it's within each section.
Okay, so Para can clear out this Palace 1, maybe take a swing back at Palace 3 again, and then whichever palace was on the water tile, you can just sort of dip into the east, clear it out, and then leave. Anytime you have to go through the south side of Vanilla East, making your way all the way through all the wheels and tiles and potentially all the way through the Valley of Death. It's just so long.
It is. The Ocean Palace is only P2, which isn't too bad, but the others, Palaces 1, 2, and 3 might be the best choices to dig out today. They're all fairly accessible.
Yeah, they tend to be the shorter palaces, and also being fairly close seems like a pretty reasonable strategy. The only question is whether Para is going to keep digging a little further to try and find Thunderspell before heading into GP, or just go straight forward once she's finished out these palaces.
I mean, Thunder's going to be in one of the other towns in the west, all of which are in the east. All of which are something of a hike in vanilla.
Yeah, getting to Old Kasuto isn't so bad, but New Kasuto is a long walk, and Darunia is a bit annoying depending on how nasty the encounters end up being, or how polite the encounter skips are for those.
Yeah. Because they're not doing Valley of Death. Thread Rock is again a bit of a walk to get there, and it's going to be 1 to 4, 5, or 6. 4 they don't have Reflect. Reflect being the same thing as Thunder, being a pain to get to, wherever it is. And then 5 and 6 are 5 and 6. If you can avoid them, you generally prefer to avoid them because they're long and annoying and not fun.
Yeah, for sure.
1, 2, and 3 can also have their trolls, to be fair. We've seen some really loopy ones lately.
Yeah, it's like with anything in Max Rando, it can be, you walk into a palace and it's 2 rooms to the left, or you walk into a palace and you're spinning in circles for 10 minutes. But 5 and 6 especially, it's not just that they tend to be long, it's that they tend to be branchy.
They're long enough to have a lot of branches.
Yeah, and you can get yourself into a situation where, you have been in a palace for 10 minutes, you've cleared a whole ton of rooms, and then you hit a loop, and you're like, well, no part of what I did was remotely useful, and I have to take it up A and start over again. But Mooney has made his way into Maze Island. Unfortunately, I don't think this is the way to either of the items, but he'll probably find his boots here, and that'll unlock a good part of the rest of the seed for him.
Yep. The seed has just been pretty rough. For any runner who's newer to Rando, with low health seed like this just isn't a good time.
Yeah, I think these are my favorite kind of Max Rando seeds in terms of health, where it starts off low, but rewarded for exploring and digging out more items with a bunch of additional hearts and safeties.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, Mooney is definitely not in the right part of Maison for the items. They were both in the northern half.
He's going to find out which palace this is, and it's 5.
I mean, he's here, he's going to take a look in it, I guess. Not an unreasonable play, I suppose.
Yeah, but Palace 5 is... I don't like to go into Palace 5 for almost any reason.
It is not the best. Ooh, that's the any key. Para doing a double take and is going to go get that.
Yeah, that definitely seems worth. At the very least, making magic not a concern anymore.
Yeah, because Fairy is, I think, 39 here on Magic 4, which is more than you care to spend.
Yeah, 39 is definitely, when you're doing palaces with just the fairy spell, where you really want to be is having at least 2 casts, and 39 thankfully is just barely enough for that, but just having the any key gives you a whole lot of additional safety, because now instead of needing to save all of her mana for casting fairy, you can't spend anything if you want 2 casts per life. Here, Para can now just sort of cast shield with impunity, which is what she's doing to make these rooms a lot safer.
Yep.
And of course, immediately rewarded with the red jar anyway.
Because the game likes to be funny.
Yeah, honestly, I think Para would rather have a P-Bag or the base experience at this point.
I think so. She doesn't need as much in the way of that.
Well, Mooney has found
Gooma's
Gooma, but
actually found Gooma. Unfortunately, it's Gooma, which, well, Attack 3 Gooma is not a fun day.
Yeah, Mooney just taking a mace to the nose and taking a free trip back to the start.
Yep. At least Gooma's not too far in. It was only a couple rooms.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good thing to know, even though I don't think Mooney has any keys. We haven't seen the boss reward yet.
He picked up a key on the way there.
He did, okay. Oh, looks like he's using it, though.
That's a problem.
But even if Mooney does have to double dip back here, just having the knowledge that ordinarily you wouldn't go into a 5, but having the knowledge that 5 isn't actually that bad and you can go in and kill Gooma quickly, even if you have to double dip it, that informational advantage can be valuable when it comes just to clearing palaces, because at this point 5 with that knowledge is a lot faster than this Palace 1 even is proving for Para.
This P1 is proving to be a longer P1, yeah. It's Foresight has not shown up yet.
Yeah, Para has taken a couple resets to deaths or just to taking a wrong turn, but yeah, it's just been pretty much every room now in what's definitely a longer rolled P1. But Para pick it up to life 5. Probably will get a double level here, depending. I don't know how many more rooms it is until Horsehead, but if Para picks up a double level here, she'll probably be in a pretty comfortable, hopefully like a 5-5-6, maybe, 5-5-7 or 5-6-6 or something like that. Just to you want to be safe enough heading into GP. With these low gem seeds, it could be scary just because you're losing out on effectively 3 guaranteed levels at the high end.
Yeah. That is a glove block from Mooney. I think he's looking for the item because this was not the way to Gooma, and that's a game over.
Unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really curious what Mooney is trying to accomplish here, going through the other paths, and Mooney's just deciding to take off or head left. I don't
know, but yeah, I would in a 3-gemmer where you've got he is, to be fair, missing glove and boots and the key, but without Fairy especially, G5 is not a fun place to dig.
Yeah, and I would understand, if Mooney is like, I really think I can take down Barba, or Gooma rather, then, taking a few stabs, spending a few lives, doing a few attempts on Gooma's not unreasonable, but trying to dig out the item in 5 without Fairy or the any key is that's a rough time. But at least both of our runners through these little, unfortunately long palaces are picking up a decent amount of experience. Picking up some level is going to make the seed a little bit easier as they go. Para finally finding Horsehead. It looks like it was, unfortunately, just one room after she had reset previously. Fighting Horsehead from the right, that's a difficult proposition, yeah. Horsehead's hitbox is way, way more left than you would think it is. It extends 3 or 4 pixels past the left end of his head. And so if you fight Horsehead from the right, it's actually very difficult to hit him safely. but Para down stabs over, hits him from the left, and places the first gem of the scene. Ooh, and unfortunately just a magic level and not attack 4. Well, Mooney's got a couple more lives this time for another attempt to take down Guma.
Yeah. Ooh, but Guma looks to be one-shotting him, which is yowp.
Yep, that's low-level Guma for you.
Yeah. And that's game over. I would honestly at this point give it up as a bad job and go elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, well,
because I think especially in a 3-gemmer as a newer player, sometimes it's just worth knowing on the lower gem seats, and it's just worth knowing when it's just best to just go do something that's not this.
Yeah,
we saw this in Mooney's last race last week as well, where he stuck around a very, very obnoxious P6 on extremely low levels for something like half an hour.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's better things to be doing with your time for now. Like, come back with more levels and better equipment, really, and you'll have a better time rather than trying to sink a ton of time into a very long and difficult palace on low levels. And I think that what's happening to Mooney again is just knowing when it's best to come back.
Yeah, it's difficult because you're in the palace. You can make your way to the boss fairly easily at this point, without taking any deaths. It's like, you want to clear palaces. That's what you're here for. But yeah,
sometimes you just have to know, okay, this honestly might be about to come back. Because he doesn't have Fairy, he doesn't have the Yeti key. 334 is really not great for P5. Yeah, I hope he watches these restreams back, because it's good to learn as well. I usually try to make some useful commentary about gameplay and things.
Yeah, for
when
sure.
I'm on comms, because it's something that you have to learn with randomizers. Sometimes you just have to come back. Like, it's not worth the dig, and sometimes it's just easier to come back. I don't know. It's always a tough choice, to be fair. Obviously we can only ever guess at what the runners are thinking, but this does feel bad.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that, it doesn't get any easier. Do I give up on the dungeon? Do I go to another one? Is a thing that, even top runners are unsure about in their races.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's certain things you decide that it's just like, P5 in particular is just you just don't want to be there. It sucks.
No.
Para getting some good jackhammers in on these bubbles, and I missed the item here for Mooney.
It's a magic jar.
Okay, that's something, but probably not what Mooney was looking for. But at the very least, this is going to convince Mooney to give up here, right? He's got the item. He knows where Barba is. Either
Guma.
Yeah. Sorry, words are hard. Either go kill Guma or leave. Right? There's nothing else to do here now.
Yeah, please don't continue to dig a palace you can't do anything in. Thank you, finally. Good.
Yeah, Moody's decided. Yep, okay. Leave it. Better plan. Gonna see what items he can find here on Maze Island. And invincible levers flying through the air.
That's a sight. Hey Trails, this is a 3-gemmer, yeah. I'm surprised Para's in here, by the way, because she does know where palaces 2 and 3 are. And for a previous discussion, it's 5.
Yeah, I mean, on the bright side, the path to Guma is not actually that bad. Right?
It is not.
If you have that knowledge, this could actually be a very quick play. However,
yeah, when you know palaces 2 and 3 are both pretty accessible, it's an interesting choice. And Gonna get attack 4 at least. We'll see how much of a dent this makes in things, because our attack levels have not been doing a very good job of anything today.
Yeah, even attack 4 has been pretty weak. But attack 5, it didn't look like was that much. But this is almost certainly still gonna be life 6. And then, Para's only got 2 more gems left to place, so she's going to have to be careful to make sure that she controls her leveling appropriately to at least pick up attack 5 before GP.
Yeah. This is the dead end variant of this room. Para might not, gonna get a few bags. Unfortunately, the seed has not been generous with P-bags today, so it's not. We haven't really seen any super high level ones, which is not helpful for things.
Para doing a pretty cool demonstration of how to get out of that block maze without upstab, but yeah, the version of that room that's a pass through, you can always tell because there's 2 enemies just right on top of the stairs when you come into the room.
Yep.
And all of the vanilla dead end versions of that room have either a flying enemy or only 1 enemy or no enemies at the start.
Yep. And I believe that goes for, I think, there's mirrored variants of those rooms as well.
I think there's at least 1 mirrored variant of the dead end, but the pass-through room doesn't have a mirrored version. Although obviously, since it's a pass-through, you could take it from either end. But when you enter that room from the left, it's not too bad. So Para gonna get this magic container spell, turning the enemies into fairly weak enemies. But unfortunately for Para, she's probably gonna head to the right here, and we know this path is 100% useless.
Yeah, this path is definitely not Guma.
Oh, thankfully, a merciful dead end.
And thanks to the sub loss there, 34 months. Alright, Mooney gonna give it another go at heading north. Because he does need those boots, it looks like today.
Yeah, I mean he's got that's right, he hasn't gotten the hint for them because the hint was boots blocked.
Yeah, it was.
We know that the hint exists, but unfortunately extremely useless.
It is, because you absolutely had to get, because the any key is in P1, which is on the western half, and then the trophy is on the western half, in Locke's Ferry. So you're logically supposed to get those boots at bare minimum to get yourself a palace clear access today.
Yeah, this Maze Island is unfortunately Para ended up finding the item very quickly here, and Mooney has just taken all of the paths
wrong turns.
Yeah, well, not necessarily wrong, but just ways that don't pay off. Okay,
there's number 1. I think these are the boots. This is the boots. Yeah, it's just yep, there they are. And this has not been festive times.
Yeah, well, Mooney should be pretty happy finding those. Get access to the western half of the west, and also potentially if Mooney decides that he wants to work his way through the east. Plus, at the very least, yeah, getting these boots will let you get the second Maze Island item easier. You can get the water tile. You can get this absolutely useless pass through. Para's taking a stab at the old Guma, and life 5 significantly tougher with that shield spell, but still taking quite a few hits.
Attack 4 is not making a bunch of a dent into this, yeah.
Yeah, it's always hard to tell because if the boss rolls up, you can have a lot of stabs just to take down that first bar, but looks like it's gonna be another 20 or so hits from this point.
And a death, so even more. Yowp.
Well, Para's got another attempt. Gonna come in there at full life with the shield spell.
Mooney's still hunting for the second item, which I believe is a magic jar.
It looks like it's going to take 5 hits to take Para down.
Was it a hard container? It might be. I've a little lost track of where everything was.
Yeah, I think it was a hard container. I mean, Mooney's not going to be unhappy to find a hard container here.
Not at all, but I'm trying to remember where on earth he managed to not check that has it. There it is. Jeez. And it's a magic jar.
Yeah. Magic jar, a little sad. I think the water tile was a hard container. Oh no! Well, actually, I was going to say Mooney not checking the water tile, but this up A actually still puts it basically right next to it. Just take the raft over and take a quick trip.
He's thinking about where to go right now. I'm not sure where he's... Okay, this should be... What was this again? Something he already has. Raft.
Teabag Cave, yeah. Yeah, Mooney's choices are, go dig out some of the east or make his way through the caldera. And I think his concern is just that he's taken a lot of deaths trying to make it through the caldera before. Para does successfully end up taking down Guma, just taking it nice and slow, and gonna have her second gem. Unfortunately, not enough XP for a level, so this is gonna be... Oh wow, a very, very cheap attack 5. That's very nice to see.
That is, and Mooney was trying to explore a bit in the west to see the boots are any use, but the boots are useless on the coast and caldera biomes and volcano biomes.
Yeah, but Mooney is gonna take a trip across the water here, check out this palace, find out. Gonna get the item here first.
Remembering how to actually physically get there, nice.
Yeah, well, our guess of Para doing 1, 2, and 3 was somewhat correct.
I'm generally surprised it didn't do P3. It's right next to start.
Yeah, well, doing this 2 was, I think, pretty reasonable. Also very close to start, fairly quick. And we're going to see Para and Mooney both in this 2 at the same time. But Para coming in here with the fairy and the NA key, going to have a lot more success.
Yeah. Very pale gray P3 today.
And vanilla drippers yielding no experience.
Fun. This Kerbal Bridge Room is also fun. Thankfully the enemy set is practically non-existent.
Actually, I don't remember. Is that vanilla? Are vanilla drippers the runners, or are they? I think they're bots. They're supposed to be in vanilla.
I think they're bots, yeah.
Yeah. Vanilla-ish. Not a significant source of experience.
No. And, well, I guess that's that. P2 is a really fast one, because here's Helmethead, who is really sick. Okay.
Yeah, he's got problems, but he's still got a couple helmets keeping his life safe.
Okay.
Wow.
Para does take him down before he takes her out, so that works.
Yeah, the oh man, and bosses are dropping keys, so if Mooney finds his way here, he will actually be able to take out Helmet Head and put a gem in. Para finishing up 5, 5, 6, pretty comfy levels for doing GP for most runners. We'll see if Para decides to keep looking and pick up some safeties or just make a beeline for GP.
I think it's GP time.
Yep. Para's hoping for no upstab requirement and no thunder requirement.
Yeah, because if either of those happen, it's time to go back to the east and figure out which one of the towns has the thing.
Yeah, and unfortunately we've had no sighting of the child yet, so...
Nope. That could be a whole bunch of different places right now. Mooney, having not gotten any key or fairy, is having to leave that room there.
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember if that was required to get to the boss or not, but Mooney's just gonna walk it off here.
That's the other thing Mooney needs to remember better to go get any key or fairy, and at least for these longer This is because it can be kind of really sucky. Hoping for the night. Oh, that's T-Bird first thing.
Well, I think there was a left Para could take at least.
There was a left.
Yeah, maybe GP is still completable, but if that's a required Thunderbird, we're gonna be making a trip back to the east.
Yeah. Mooney trying to get the Iron Knuckle to spawn. Not really do much. I don't think they're dropping much experience either, though. I would go do something else besides this, honestly.
Yeah, with this being Palace 2, it is impossible to spawn an Iron Knuckle. Palace 2 only spawns jars.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's the other thing, too, and I think he realized that it's a bad idea. Thank you. Yeah, I really hope he gets any heat and/or, very soon.
Yeah, he's gonna have to head back and try to make it through the caldera. Again, I think his concern is just he's taken a lot of deaths trying to make it through those caves before and doesn't want to spend a whole bunch of time. Ooh, Moa with the bonk into the lava bath.
I mean, unfortunately, the seed's overall just been rough on Mooney. Low hearts and life not being super effective has been a bad day.
Yeah, well, Mooney has picked up an extra life level and an additional heart container since the last time he was here, so maybe he'll have some more success this time. Just deciding, I don't want to deal with these enemies, just going to face tank it through, get through the screen. And if he can make it, through this cave, he could take an up A in GP very easily, replenish his lives, and get through the rest without too much trouble, probably.
Yeah, I think the second pass through was a lot nicer than the first. This left start in GP got pretty linear, it looks like, as Mooney takes the game over.
Yeah, linear is what you're looking for in these kind of situations. If, what the best thing when you're not sure whether that, you see T-Bird, you're not sure whether it's required or not very early. What you're looking for is a definitive yes-no answer, do I need Thunder? And the answer is yes.
Yeah, because this is a dead end.
The worst thing that could happen is when you get run around in circles is a million forks, you spend a whole bunch of time looking, and Thunderbird was required anyway, and you just wasted a whole bunch of time. So here's a nice, clean, definitive, Thunder required, get out of here, head east, see where it is.
Yep. It's a 1 in 3 between the Darunia and the two Kasudos. The two Kasudos take a while to get to, but take a little bit to get to, but are both accessible. Darunia, well, you get to go figure out where the child has gone off to.
Yeah, the only advantage of heading to Darunia first would be you can pick up Upstab, which you still don't know whether it's required or not. So, we'll see. I think there's a decent chance Para does decide to go. Yeah, gonna go up to Darunia first.
Or not.
I think it's about I think Para's just realizing she can take this trip around the water. It's about the same length when you consider, this is a little extra overworld walking versus a little extra encounter, but this is definitely the safer route, and it's probably about the same speed.
Yeah.
And then with how... Oh, did Para get the skip there?
I don't know.
Not sure. We'll see in just a minute. No, did not get the encounter skip, but gonna go for it again. At that time, it looked like she got it.
Just a pee back on Mooney's side. I have no idea where he actually... I think that's one of the caves in the east. We saw dead ups in the west, at least.
I wasn't paying too close attention, but it looks like it's Hammer Cave.
Oh,
I know he was
actually, yeah.
Digging around in Death Mountain.
Alright, Darunia has fire in it. Okay.
Well, that might be Thunder.
Yeah, but it's not worth getting...
Yeah, but
welcome in, Pedro. Z2 is a very different game. The randomizer also looks ridiculously different. Map randomizer is happening. The Eastern continent's not very randomized, to be fair. That's the straight vanilla map. But the Western continent and Death Mountain are very, very randomized. It's a feature of Z2R that's unique among all Zelda randomizers. No other has a true map randomizer.
Yeah, and it's certainly something. Learning to navigate around every map. Mooney finding Speck Rock here. Let's see what's down here. The candle.
It's good for him, actually.
I think it's going to make him very happy. It's going to make navigating through this caldera way easier.
It is. Go east to find a child. Brilliant. Thanks, game. There's a good chance it's a new Kasuto by this point, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, only one choice you can make at this point. You're pretty much always going to check old Kasuto on the way to new Kasuto, and going to be Thunder in one of them, so just going to be a bit of a walk. But Para deciding to check Death Mountain first.
What for?
Maybe she just decides she wants some extra safeties or something. I mean, I'm
actually a little confused here.
Yeah, I don't hate taking a dip in and just following the river to find Speck Rock, right? That's a play that usually only takes 20 or 30 seconds or something like that, and you get an extra item. Maybe you find a heart or something. But dipping all of these caves for Hammer Cave is not going to pay off very much. I mean, Para's already pretty much in go mode. The only thing she needs is Thunder, and she knows it's got to be in one of the two remaining towns in the east.
Happy 1 hour, everyone. And Pedro in chat there. Yes, but so this is not your vanilla speedrun. This is Randomizer. So as with pretty much many randomizers, the items are shuffled amongst each other. The spells are shuffled among each other, and then there's the map randomizer, which just completely shuffles the overall tile layouts completely.
Mooney did manage to make through that
jump cave to a dead end, yeah?
Yeah, we suspected that was what's going to happen, and it in fact did, but...
Alright, now going to go through the caldera. Hopefully gets through this time.
Yeah, just an absolutely rough set of enemies here. I think he managed to get the kill confirmed on both of those first two enemies, though. The Dyra's XP did start counting up. No, it didn't, just barely. The game does not consider you to have killed any enemy until the experience starts ticking upward. So even if it floats up in the air that you got 70 points for killing an enemy, until your experience counter starts moving, that enemy is still considered alive as far as the game is concerned.
Oof, and that's a game over.
Yep. Para finishing Hammer Cave and finding, it's just a pea bag.
I'm still not sure what she was hoping to get out of there, anyhow.
Yeah, I mean, she's got most of the safeties, but she's heading back in there, gonna look for Spectacle Rock. Thankfully, I don't think this is gonna be that long of a trip.
It won't,
it's right there.
It's right there. But I'm just confused why she's in here to begin with.
Yeah, like I said, I don't hate, dipping in. It's basically right next to start. You can follow the river, probably find Speck Rock. The whole trip probably only takes 20 or 30 seconds. I don't hate that if you're thinking you might need a little bit more safeties. But the Hammer Cave play is a little unusual.
Yeah.
But Perry is going to head back to the east and make her way through just the ridiculously obnoxious vanilla Eastern continent.
It is scenes like this where we get the straight vanilla, and even the vanilla shuffled maps show this off as well, where we just get to see just how dumb, just why we have map randomized, because the vanilla map really sucks. It's also super linear and very annoying, so there would not be much of any interesting variance to the randomizer if it was just this vanilla map every single time. Also,
dipping back into Palace 2?
Now I'm really confused.
I think Para may not realize she has the flute. Because she started with it, it's not marked on her tracker. And she may have
that's a point.
She may just think, oh, I need the flute to progress further into the east. And while that's true, she has it. She started with it.
That's true. We have seen people who have just genuinely forgotten that item they either started with or got at very early in the seed.
I've definitely done it in tournament races before.
Yeah, it feels bad though. Hopefully she notices it on her menu soon if that's what's going on here.
But yeah, that's the only reason I can think of that she's digging this palace looking for items. I know Mooney had gotten to this point in Palace 2 earlier and had to back off because of that love block, but Para, has all the progression items, so...
Mooney hitting upon the right idea using spell there in the cave. Okay, that finally gets through.
Yeah, and now Mooney's going to be able to take a reset here in GP to...
Hello? Thank you. Actually do that.
Yep, gonna fill up on lives, make this next cave a lot safer.
Yeah. Yeah, I really hope Hera takes a good look at her menu soon, because it's happened, but I've seen this in multiple randos where someone just genuinely forgets they have a thing.
Yeah, Animus, I agree that having the vanilla maps, it's not a thing that would be fun to play all the time in Randomizer, but having them shuffled into the pool definitely adds a little bit of spice, a little extra flavor for the Max Rando tournament that I like.
It is interesting to see sometimes, just so it makes for a regular thing on the normal basis.
That describes Max Rando in general, right? It's a fun thing to play, but not something you'd want to do all the time. Moody picking up his down stab, and also picking up a cat. You guys unfortunately cannot see Mooney's webcam on the stream, but
he's got a cat in his lap.
It's definitely gonna help him navigate through this west end of the West.
Yeah, in case any check us, give our runners a follow. You may also go see the kitty cat at Mooney's stream linked right there. Tara and Mooney, also thank you Elendar for co-comming with me, and to Lost for doing our tracking.
Yeah, I think the saving grace here again of this too is going to be not that much more of it.
Yeah,
and if Para really doesn't realize that she has the flute, she doesn't really have a lot of other places she can look.
No,
I mean this is going to be the item here, but if she doesn't realize that she already has the flute. I think the only place she has left is Palace 3.
Yeah, and that won't take her all that long either. Like, Mooney saw the P-Bag in there quite quickly, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't even key blocked. And
no.
She did get a hard container from 2. Not going to be useless. And Mooney successfully able to utilize that down stab to make these enemies a lot easier.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, the only items that looking at Mooney's tracker, this is the only item location that she has left without passing through that River Devil. And so when she... Oh no! Yeah. Go left! That if you go down an elevator and the path to the right does not scroll, if there's no scrolling at all before you start going right, the only version of that room that exists is the version that is an item room if you walk left. So if you ever, that's a good hint to know passing through palaces. If you go down an elevator and the screen doesn't scroll to the right, then the rest of it is off to the left with an item. So Para gonna search a little bit more of this palace, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Get one for Moody.
Yeah, did he pick up the fairy spell? I didn't catch whether he had picked up anything over in the
fairy spell in his menu just then.
Yeah, if he didn't pick up fairy spell or magical key, then I'm a little interested why he's going into one. I mean, I guess he doesn't. He hasn't gotten any hints or anything, but
yeah, I think. I mean, sometimes it can be worth digging palaces without fairy or no key, but at some point, I think you just want to go actually find the thing, because it gets kind of nasty to dig palaces sometimes without either.
Yeah, especially because this enemy set is not being particularly friendly.
No, Para attempting to ferry through and realizes, oh, I can't.
Yeah, just put some extra walls in there just to stop fairies.
Yeah, someone was mean when creating this room.
Yep, that's a number of the community rooms definitely were designed to provide some additional challenge.
Mm-hmm. Another one would be the GP room that is an F-shaped block room.
Yep.
A variant of the up-stab, down-stab blocks from Vanilla.
Yep, a reaction to players learning how to do the up-stab skip is the up-stabless up-stab.
Yeah, because it's a literal S shape compared to the Vanilla.
Yeah, thou shalt not skip this room.
Nope.
Get up-stab. And yeah, it could also be, especially if there's some bird knights in that room, it could be difficult to navigate through that. Para finding the boss, but unfortunately not going to be very useful. And I think she's going to find the bad news pretty quickly, that both A, the item room was basically right at the start, and B, that
it's not a flute.
It is not a flute.
Mooney's tried a few of the bosses, but has not been having a good. Has tried Guma at least. It has not did not have a good time, and ultimately did decide to make what I think was the best choice and just quit out of it.
Yeah, doing Guma at low levels can be very difficult. And now Para's
confused,
thinking, because she's if she thinks she doesn't have the flute, she's now checked every logical location where it could be.
Not just every logical location, every location, period, really.
Yeah.
It's not her starting inventory, at least, which she has forgotten about, unfortunately. We've all been there, it just feels bad.
Yep, you mistrack something, and there's a number of available trackers that you can use for this game, and some of them make it easier to track starting items for Max Rando than others, and unfortunately, Para just not having success. It looks like she may have realized what's up.
I really hope so, because this is a big time feels bad otherwise.
Well, Mooney's picking up his upstab. Okay, Para checking her inventory.
Sorry, I just tabbed over the race time. Para says, lol, I'm calling Broken Seed, and then immediately, we'll see here in a moment. I think, Para has realized, yeah, so she literally just said this in the race room, lol, I'm calling Broken Seed, and a second later, oh, never mind, I've spent over half an hour being a moron.
Yeah, it's something that we've all done. Right? It's where is this item? Where is this item? Oh, it's in my inventory.
Yep. No, Michelle. Hera started with the flute. They both did. She forgot about it, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's like I said with the trackers. Para's using Angry Larry's tracker, which the way that it's constructed, it has all of the different locations, and you mark what item was in that location, which works great for fairly normal randomizer seeds, but with Max Rando, there's not really a spot on it to put items that you start with. And so even a glance at your tracker doesn't necessarily show you stuff that you started with. It could be, it could be easy to forget. I've seen it a bunch of times. I've done it myself. And thankfully, that mistake is probably not going to cost Para this race because she is still pretty far ahead.
Yeah, Mooney's just not had a good time with this seed. Mooney is also apparently feeling like a bit of a moron per the race room. Not my words, that's his. It has not been a great day for either of them, to be fair.
Oh yeah, Animus in chat mentioning forgetting the boots. I think that is the most common one that I've done, is that you're walking around various things and you're looking and you're trying to figure out where you're going, and then all of a sudden you accidentally walk on a water tile and you're like, wait a second, I've had the boots this whole time.
Yeah, oh hey, there's the child, and new Kasuto has life spell in it, so old Kasuto has thunder.
It's especially common to forget you have the boots with Vanilla West being a thing, because they're literally useless in Vanilla West. So you spend a bunch of time making your way through Vanilla West, and you go like an Islands East and just forget you have the boots because you've spent the whole season so far not using them.
Mm-hmm. I distinctly remember, not last year's standard training, but year before last, where both runners, or like the winner of the race was something like an hour 50 or something really, really bad, because both runners Dingus brained the hell out of things. P6 and Fried Rock. Mooney does decide to turn around. Good idea. Where both runners end up really just hard forgetting things. One runner forgot that he got Thunder like 2 minutes into the seed. The other just completely forgot to completely forgot to go to one specific bit of the overworld and walked past it several times for 2 hours. The runner who forgot they got Thunder 2 minutes into the seed did end up winning over the runner who forgot to check one bit of the overworld for 2 hours.
Yeah, definitely happens. Mooney, not forgetting that he has the flute, has been checking a bunch of these locations, and it's gonna pay off. He's gonna pick up the life spell here. It's gonna make him even more safety, clearing out some of these extra locations. And then he's got the spell, so he'll be able to fully clear this town out.
Mm-hmm.
And with him already being in this section of the east, I suspect that he's also going to take a trip down and pick up his thunder spell. So I'm really happy to see the child. I do not remember what spell that was. I think it was just fire.
Fire.
It could be useful.
Yes, lost. There was the scene last year's Max Rando tourney where both runners forfeited because GP sucked that hard.
Yeah, I remember, because the winner of that match faced me, and you got a bye. I didn't watch the race, and then I woke up the next morning to find out that they had double forfeited it to me, and I'm like, okay. So out of commiseration, I did play the scene the next day to punish myself through
it. Michelle, they do need Thunder. That was confirmed by Para 20 minutes ago, closer to 30 at this point, due to the Dingus brain on the flute.
Yeah, Para found Thunderbird and the dead end on the path that wasn't Thunderbird, but forgetting that she had the flute. Just now making her way into Old Kasuto and grabbing the Thunder Spell.
Mm-hmm.
And Yeah, sorry, this is Thunderspell right there. So I'm still a little confused where Para's going here.
Now I'm back to being confused. Yeah, this is not the way to GP at all.
She now has full progression. There is literally nothing possible for her to still need at this point.
Well, fire is really not worth the hike back to Daronia.
Yeah,
Nor is this the fastest way there.
Maybe she's gonna take a check Risen P-Bag Cave, see if, if you were here, I guess she says might as well give it a check, and, maybe there's a heart container there.
Maybe. Well, we start with 2 hearts and we've gotten 4. I'm not sure there are more.
There definitely could be. It could be anywhere from, your starting amount to 8, but becomes increasingly unlikely the more you get.
Yeah, Para's just, I guess, going to Folklore the Seed. We're both a little confused by these guys' routing today. It's been a bit of a day for both, I think.
Yep, but again, thankfully for Para, she's gonna pretty quickly make it through this cave, and then there will be nothing else to check in. Yeah, just a worthless 1-up that is immediately up 8 away.
Yep. Alright, please go back to the GP, Para. Thank you.
Yep. I mean, at this point, the only remaining things for her to check are Palaces 4 and 6, and...
I'd be really confused if she went back to those.
Yeah. But thankfully, Thunderbird being basically right at the start of GP, if you go right, is going to make that fight not too difficult. Even if you take a couple deaths, not very punishing. But since we didn't see that much of GP off to the left, there is going to be at least a decent amount left after Thunderbird, because we're going to have to find a fork.
I've only seen like 7 or 8 rooms or something so far.
Yeah.
Wasn't a ton. I was not specifically counting, but it was like less than 10, I think, total.
Yeah, but I think Thunder is going to be expensive enough. I don't think she's going to have enough for a life spell, But
yeah,
just shield as a safety going to be decent at least.
That Thunder took us 6 magic bars, it looked like.
Yeah, but it looks like Thunderbird is, she's going to be able to take 4 hits before taking a death with shield spells, so not the worst.
Yep. Now this is D6 for Moody. Yikes.
Yeah, a little bit off the pattern, but does a good reset.
Oh yeah, 5 magic bars, not 6, I can't count.
As P6, I like this color for P6. It's a nice, calming purple.
I think this is more blue than purple, at least on my screen. Oof, that's a death for Para and 1 for Mooney. That's a game over, actually, for Mooney. I prefer the tealish color here, especially because the background is a little bit too bright for me on Mooney's end. I prefer the dark backgrounds like that of GP here. The bright colored ones can get a little obnoxious on the eyes.
Yeah, I'm usually fine with the brighter colors as long as they're not, outrageous pink or... There's definitely some bright ones. Thankfully, there are a few colors that got removed from the randomizer for being unacceptable.
Oh, were there? I did not realize.
That was quite some time ago. That so some of the colors that initially the randomizer just sort of picked out some random colors from a reasonable pool, but there were a few that were either very difficult to see or obnoxiously blinding. And
there are still some I would consider obnoxiously blinding, to be fair. If this shade of blue was much brighter on Mooney's side, it would be kind of bad, and P1 was actually kind of awful earlier with that pink.
Ooh, Para just 1 bar away does take another death. Again, she can take her time. Even with a game over here, it's not like it's all the way at the end of the palace where it's going to cost you a bunch. You just get some good practice.
And yes, we did see 2 pale gray palaces today. Palaces 2 and 3, I think, are both very, very pale shades of gray. We have seen palaces, and we do still see palaces that are pretty much almost white, and those are still pretty bright. Also, yeah, Sunshine Yellow is another.
Yeah. Very clean attempt so far for Para, getting 3-hit, 2-hit cycles, just what you're looking for. Takes a hit, but keeps the pattern running.
Pretty good pendulum, yeah.
Yeah, with the amount of life and shield that she has, taking a bop or 2 is not the biggest deal. It's if you get the pattern screwed up, you can.
That's
commentator's curse right there. Just a stray ball. Like a lot of bosses in this game, Thunderbird is very, very cruel. Some of Thunderbird's balls are aimed more or less where you are. And some of Thunderbird's balls are reading your inputs to try and predictively shoot them in the direction that you are moving. And one of the things that you can pick up fighting Thunderbird enough times is similar to manipulating Dyras by letting go of forward when you're jumping over them. Controlling when you are or aren't pressing forward in midair to try and manipulate the fireballs away from being directly in your path. But even with that, there's a decent amount of randomness to them that can sometimes just absolutely ruin your day.
Yep.
I do like, it's one of the things I like about T-Bird is that while it's definitely one of the harder, if not the hardest boss in the game, there's a whole lot of things that you can learn to improve at it, and the more time you spend, definitely it pays off pretty significant dividends in getting better at it.
For sure. Man, that was a no-hit T-Bird fight. Very nice.
Yeah.
Actually dropping 1,000 experience. I think next is Magic 6.
Yeah, I think that was right after a game over too. She'll be able to keep that experience rather than needing to take an up and A to recover her lives. So, okay, well that
she especially needs magic anymore. To be fair,
yeah, that elevator was our first fork, so we can now see Dark Link in any room.
Please move behind. Go ahead, Zelda.
I was going to say, Mooney has had some difficulty finding the trophy is in the west end of the west. The west, unfortunately, is separated by a caldera, so there were some tricky dark caves to make it through, and not finding the trophy, unable to pick up the fairy spell, and so these palaces have been difficult to uncompletable, and he's unfortunately burned a lot of time trying to make his way through them.
Lost a lot of time to the overworld as well. Not a lot of hearts and life not doing a great job. Like he's stuck on 3-4. He's been stuck on like 3-4-4 for a while because he just hasn't been able to survive long enough to get higher levels, which hasn't helped.
Kingbot making his presence known. I enjoy that the largest of all bots is, of course, even more of a troll than regular bots.
Oh yeah, more forks, by the way.
The true power of GP.
Ooh, spicy chickens.
Double chicken attack makes quick work of Para.
Yep. Lamb.
And Para is like, I've got other spots on this elevator. We'll take a different fork.
I'll come back to the chickens later. No.
No, she doesn't. Because it looks like that path. Oh. Mooney finding the item in 6, but just another P bag.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it looks like that elevator is just a loop back to right after T-Bird. So I think Para is on a linear path once again.
I think this is the only path, yeah, because that elevator with the blocks surrounding the bottom, loops everything else back together, basically.
Yeah, the thing that sucks about being on Bluebird Nights, that sucks about being on the only linear path is, until you see another fork, you know that every room you go through can't possibly lead to Dark Link.
Mm-hmm. We've got a fork now. Got an elevator. Here's a drop.
Here's a drop. This is an interesting drop. I don't think she's. I think there was at least one room that drop could lead through west of start. And Para.
So. Yeah.
Para doesn't want to. Well, Mooney taking on Barba, and we do know that bosses are dropping keys in this seed. So if Mooney manages to take out Barba, he will be able to put his first gem of the seed down. Oh, good thing Para picked up Upstab.
Trails, this has been a really rough seed for Mooney. They started with 2 hearts. Survivability's been horrendous. Mooney's been on low levels for quite a while because he hasn't been able to survive long enough to get the higher levels.
Yeah. Well, hopefully...
Has spent a lot of time in palaces without either fairy or any key and has lost a lot of time to that. Deaths galore everywhere has not helped.
Yeah.
You had to get through a Caldera West to get the fairy and the any key, and he just hasn't been able to get over there. Unfortunately, it's been a real problem today. Kara's also had her problems. She spent half an hour looking for a flute she started with, so there's that. It's been a bit of a... It's been a race.
It's definitely been a seed. I don't think it's actually the seed itself. I don't think has been that cruel.
The seed itself's been fine. Like, they got a decent number of hearts, their equipment's been okay, and they were able to get some levels going on Parasite. The runners have had a bit of a rough go at it with how they personally have played the seed, though. Also, there's a lot of forks now in this GP. Yikes.
Yeah, I mean, we've sort of had a little bit of resurgence of Zelda 2 references in some of the modern games. Everyone's suspicions about Barba being Volvagia are actually true. Barba is the name itself is an extremely crude romanization of the Japanese version of Volvagia. They are actually the same thing canonically, but there are at least quite a few. Most notably, almost all of the sages from Ocarina of Time are named after the towns in Zelda 2. Correct. So there are a decent number of Z2 references in some of the newer Zelda games, but it's often considered one of the black sheep of the series, and I, of course, always love more Z2.
I mean, we're here and watching this, so yeah.
Ooh. Bluebird Knight, thankfully, just going right over the head. Is this? This
might be a loop. We saw one of these down stab up stab walk rooms earlier. I'm not sure if this is a repeat.
I think it had a Bluebird Knight in it. Yeah, this is a loop right back to here. So I think this left pair is taking is once again the only remaining path. Pair is just on her way to 100%ing this GP.
No. Yeah, I think she is. This is I think this is a dead end, because there is an item room variant of this current room, but that is not it. Because it's GP.
Mooney back on Barba. With any luck, Mooney will be able to get a double level from this.
Yeah.
Last time he was here, he definitely would have been able to. I think he had like 500 or 600 points to spare. This time, it's going to depend on how the XP rolls. Yeah, looks like this drop is the only remaining path. I had forgotten about this. So we were concerned that it might lead to this room.
Which it
Para,
does.
Para going right. That's that room does not have a right exit, and where it takes you, where it takes you going right out of a room that doesn't have right exit is somewhat undocumented. A lot of the time, it'll take you to an invalid room, and if it does, then it boots you right back to start.
Yeah, she got deaded anyhow here.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that was the end of her dead end anyway, so not a big deal, but...
The elevator that was blocked off by a load of blocks, Mirai, is a loop.
Yeah, not entirely sure, actually, at this point, where the next path is. I guess it's possible that this isn't a loop. It could have just been a duplicate version of this room. Paratroopa gonna check it and confirm.
That looks familiar.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is in fact a loop.
Yeah, I think that confirmed that that's a loop. Game over for poor Mooniness.
So Para going left in this elevator room. I don't know if she's taken this route.
I've gotten pretty thoroughly lost by now.
Oh she definitely hasn't.
Because that's Darklink, okay.
And with life 6, 4 bars remaining, it shouldn't be too difficult to repeatedly stab Simon in the knees here. Always curious how this sprite works from a logical perspective. You understand the horizontal whips, but how do you have a vertical whip, right? How do you down whip?
I don't know. GG's Para finishing up 135.47. She is pleasantly surprised she won, considering the wanderings involving a flute. But hey, GG. He'll be joining us for an interview shortly.
Meanwhile, Mooney's gonna make another attempt at Barba. I think, he's having some difficulty with it, but it's still reasonable. You know where the boss is. It's gonna. I don't actually know if he knows that it's gonna drop a key, but it will drop a key. So if you can make progression, might as well do it.
Yeah. And Mooney is not a quitter. He will be finishing out the seed, however long it takes. Did so last week as well. In the meantime, GG's Para.
I went on a particularly long journey there, but I ended up finding out that the flute was inside me all along.
Yeah, you started with the flute.
I think that the flute was the friends we made along the way.
The River Devil just felt sorry for you.
Yeah, canonically, actually, I didn't find the flute, but I just went up to the River Devil. He was like, oh, sorry, like, you want to just go? I learned about a new cognitive flaw I have, which is that whenever I look at the starting items that I have when I'm doing a max rando, I ignore the flute because it's normally not important. I look for Power Glove, I look for Raft, I look for any key, but I don't look for flute because... But see, I've never done a seed before where there was a vanilla Eastern High roll. I've never seen that before. where flute is important all of a sudden. So once I realized that I needed to get past there, because I went to the Great Palace without Thunder, right? So I was like, well, maybe Thunderbird's not required, but T-Bird was required, so I had to leave. And by that time, I had completely forgotten that I started the flute. So so I went looking for it.
Yeah, we were wondering for a while. Pero?
I even went to 3, even though I knew that 3 was a P bag because I had the hint, but it could have been 6. But I found this. I saw the windows. I was like, okay, it's 3, but I stayed in there anyway because I forgot. And then I got the P bag. It's like, was that the item? There's nowhere else the flute could be. Was that the item? Like, and I don't know because I don't know all of the reconstructed rooms. So like, I'm like, well, maybe that was just a regular P bag. I was like, no, I'm pretty sure it's the item. I remember got the hint now. So I had to think about it. I'm like, what could I have missed? Is there a way to get around the river double I forgot about? There isn't. The flute's required in vanilla Z2.
It is. That has not changed in if any exists as far as a flute.
And then I finally realized what I had done. I was like, okay. I didn't really get anything out of that search, unfortunately. I went to Death Mountain 2 and 3, and I didn't really come out with anything. I got a heart out of it, I think.
I think I got a heart out of it, so it wasn't literal nothing, but it wasn't great.
Yeah. Oh, well.
We were wondering, like, Tara? Where are you going?
Yeah. And otherwise, they're okay. Great Palace was kind of confusing. I went I didn't go the one way that Dark Link was. That's okay.
You got looped around a few times too. We got looped around as viewers.
I was lucky that any key is in one. That was a nice find. It helped a lot.
So what's happened to Mooney this seed, in case you're wondering, is he's still pretty new to Rando, so a 2-heart seed really has been a bad time for him, especially because attack's been bad and life's been worse.
Yeah, I'm not very good at these low health seeds either, but I can usually make it through eventually. There were like no P bags in this seed either, so health or experience was really at a premium.
Mooney's still at 444, he just hasn't been able to survive long enough to get higher.
Yeah, I only got the 556, and I got a couple of extra levels out of there just out of fighting stuff. Fortunately, T-Bird started Great Palace. I should have been able to get T-Bird in less than 4 tries, but had some fireball patterns, went pretty hard. So this is going to be a tough seed to finish. Great Palace isn't too bad, but it's not super easy either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's where Mooney kind of has gotten stuck, because he's still pretty new to the Rando. He spent a great deal of time early in the seeding.
I mean,
I think one of the things is he's still learning like when to actually sink time into Palace and when it's a better idea to go elsewhere. And this happened to him in his race last week. He spent a lot of time in P5 very early and didn't end up getting a whole lot of anywhere.
Killed Barba, that's good. Where is Palace 6?
La race
I never
étant terminée, je peux me permettre de coller mon esti.
Okay.
Oui, j'ai fermé mon
I think Mooney remembered.
J'étais en race.
Yeah, no, he did remember that.
Resté.
He had other problems though with just general
Non, j'ai pas gagné, voyons. J'ai même pas fini la seed.
Yeah,
that's tough. The Z2 Rando is really unforgiving. To everyone but to new players especially.
Mais on va quand même finir.
Especially Max Rando can sometimes be very forgiving and sometimes very not. And this is a not forgiving Max Rando. This is probably one of the more unforgiving ones I've seen. My one last week was bad. But this one was so bad with like P-bag drops that it's nasty. I don't think there were like any P-bag drops in the pool at all. Like there was like one and it was like a 20. So it was, nasty seed.
Thunder.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da.
Yeah, I probably could have finished this one a bit earlier. I mean, I could have gotten... If I realized I had the flute at the start, I would have gone down there at the start of the game instead of late. I would have gotten life and thunder. I wouldn't have gotten much else out of it. There wasn't really much down there, except for just those 2 spells. But that would have been really helpful.
Hey.
and then I wouldn't have wasted a bunch of time, basically.
Je pratiquais mon jackhammer.
I also completely forgot that Palace 3 was at the start of the game. Like, I just ignored that palace at first, and I sort of forgot where it was. It just kind of slipped out of my memory, right there where he's going now. I just, like, didn't notice it was there for some reason.
We were kind of wondering why you went to 5 instead of 3 there at one point.
I mean, it's not a completely unjustifiable choice, because 5 was pretty close to 2, but yeah, no, I should have gone to 3. Well, the other reason going to 5 was good is I knew that 3 had a P bag, although I forgot that. But in theory, like, you know, I know 5 could have a heart tune or something.
That's fair.
So I guess there's that. It's kind of a questionable justification, but yeah, that's that. I guess there's not really much else to say about this seed.
Yeah, bit of an interesting race all around. We had a lot of where are they going and why are they going there moments.
I hope it wasn't too frustrating to watch, because I'm pretty sure I spent like a good 20 to 30 minutes not realizing I had the flute. Like, it was a long time. Yeah, and I mean, longer than that, considering that I never went there in the first place. Like, I would have just gone there at like 15 minutes in the game if I knew, but sorry.
Yeah, we had figured out eventually that you know, because that was what you were looking for. Since you know, it's sort of like why isn't Para just going to get Thunder? But thankfully, there weren't too many remaining places to check, and I think you made pretty quick work of them.
Yeah, and once I actually didn't have any places left to check by the time I realized I had it, because I was like, what are my possible options here? And then I finally figured it out. But yeah, I think I just had I had Death Mountain, which was actually pretty quick to get, and then I had 2 and 3 because I got the item in 5. 4 and 6 were behind the flute, and all the other items that were on the overworld were behind the flute. I had the hint for the medicine, which I skipped, so that was it. Yeah. And there's also all that time just going to the Great Palace. I probably would have gone that way to try to skip Thunderbird anyway, but, you know, yeah. So hopefully not too bad overall.
Yeah. It was still interesting to watch, and interesting to watch, and still an interesting seed. Some ups and downs, but GG's on finishing it.
Yeah, GG.
So, any last thoughts, Cylinder? I think we're going to head over to Reed Mooney here shortly.
Yeah, no, that's all I got. So yeah, thanks for commentary.
Yeah, and I just once again wanted to say thanks, Star, for handling all the technical beeps and boops. And thanks to Lost for tracking.
Thank you.
Yep. So let's give our runners a follow, Mooney and Paratroopa. Thanks to my code Tom Ellender, and to our tracker Lost. Coming up ahead on the ZSR schedule, we've got a few different things tomorrow. First thing off is 9 8, or today, I guess, technically, if you're on the East Coast. Today, we have it sort of the day off. 9 a.m. Eastern, we've got the Korean Time Randomizer Standard EU Weekly Race. We also have a OTR Season 5 Winners Round 4 race between G-Skate and Yo-Yo Kanari at noon Eastern, and then at 9 Eastern tomorrow we'll have the last race of Swiss Round 2 for this tournament between Xanax and Victor. That'll be on CSR Main here tomorrow, so we hope to see you all then. And then we've got more races throughout the week, including what will be Swiss Round 3. That should be it for us. Thanks for watching, everyone. Let's wish Mooney luck with the rest of the seed.
Good Mooney. Good Mooney.
On va juste attendre après le raid, parce qu'il y a un raid qui s'en vient.